Welcome to the Drunkard's Path. I hope everybody's keeping toasty warm since the weather just kind of changed from summer to winter. Actually, winter, summer, winter. So it's a really good day to be at your sewing machine or in your sewing room and creating something. Okay, let's get right into things. And first off, we have new into the shop. We have some 28 count Monaco. This is hand-dyed. I have a couple of different colors to show you, but we did this right here at Drunkard's Path. We have this kind of like a teal color, and I thought, wow, gee, that would look really nice with any kind of an Easter type cross stitch. This background I thought would really go quite well with those colors, pastel colors. And secondly, we have this is called, I believe, Sage, and it's kind of like a darker greeny grayish almost. And this one I thought, wow, that would be good for Halloween. Any type of Halloween-y type project, or just something that you need a darker background on. You can see the modeling in it, and they're also serged all the way around, so you don't have to worry about it fraying or anything when you're using it. And this one, I believe, is called Taupe. So again, they're a 28 count Monaco, DMC Monaco, and this is new to our shop. Next, I want to show you something that my daughter had asked me to make for her. Her friend was expecting a baby, and she had gone to the shower, and she said, "Oh, Mom, would you make my friend a pillow?" We don't know the name of the baby yet because they're kind of holding back on that. I thought, okay, I've got like 7-8 weeks to go. No problem. Well, turns out she was having some complications, and didn't the little bundle decide to come a lot early. So mind you, both mom and baby are just fine, and she weighed almost 5 pounds at birth, and that's little baby Harper. So I made this pillow for her, and what I did was I just used my embroidery module on my Bernina, and I got this little cute thing here, and then I added her name here. And I just had some, I went to my stash, and I didn't even, sometimes you forget what you have. And all three of these colors really match quite well. So I thought, oh, how cute is that? So it's got little bunnies on here, and just little pink and white flowers. And it just really went together quite well. And again, with the envelope type closing. So just a little something to say, welcome to baby Harper. Next, I want to show you the quilt that I was making. I showed you the blocks on the last video, the X and the O. Well, I got that one completed, and this quilt here is now earmarked for the United Way campaign that's going to be auctioned off. So I was approached by Border Services for their United Way campaign, and they asked if I had anything maybe for auction, and I was just finishing up this quilt, and I thought, wow, I think this is probably perfect. So I went and I had it quilted by Wendy Doran. Thank you, Wendy. You did such an excellent job. It's so beautiful. And you can see it's really quite big. And we have X's and O's, and you can see all the swirls. And those can zoom in. You can see all the really pretty swirls of the quilting. And I'm just gonna, maybe if I show you the back, you can see Wendy's great quilting on the back. This one turned out really super nice, and I can't wait to give it to them. And we will put a link to the site where it'll be auctioned off if anybody's interested. I don't know when that will be. It could be maybe closer to the fall, but you know, they like to get things in order, so we can cross this one off and have it ready to go. And I've just been keeping all my projects in my book. So you'll see, so January's projects, February so far, and I don't know how many I've got. Let me just double check. I'm on 12. I'm on my 12th project. So, and I put them all into this book with all the particulars and then a photo. So these are really super handy. So just, it's nice to keep a quilt journal because you can always go back and see, what have I done? What fabrics did I use? How big was the quilt? And if you give it away, you know, like, you really want to probably have record of it and just look back on it and go, oh yeah, I remember this one. So I really like using this book. So every month, the first Monday of the month, Sherry McConnell from A Quilting Life gives you a free pattern. And I think there's two sizes. There's an 8-inch and a 16-inch block. So the outside is always the same, and the block in the middle is what changes. So yeah, I got caught up on my block. This is block number 2 for February. Just gonna get the threads off here. Look, I'm covered in them. Okay. This is block 2. Only 10 more to go. So there's that one. We're keeping up to date with that. Next is my Riley Blake 2023 quilt along, and this one's called Cheerful Churn Dash. So that's what that looks like. Again, that's another free quilt along. And here is my block for the next one in line. And I'm using all solids on this particular one. And we have the next is the Socialites 2, block 14 and 15. You know what? I'm really not sure if I showed you block 14 on the last one, but I'm going to show it again. This is Enchanted Block. This is what this one looks like. Again, a free sew along, and there'll be a link down below for all of these sew alongs, so you can just jump right in. And this is the Enchanted Block. This one was a beginner level, which, man, I like those. And block 15, which is called Brighton Block. Again, this is a beginner block, so I got these two done fairly quick. I like this one. I like the colors in it. This is using Kim Deal fabric. So that's those two. And I started a new quilt from the, I'm going to hold the book up. It's called The Perfect 10 Quilts. And this is the Layer Cake Friendly book put out by It's So Emma. And this is called a French Vanilla Quilt. This one's going together really fast. I really like this one. It's more modern looking, but it looks really sharp. I used a layer cake that I had, and it was called Ghouls and Goodies. It's a motor fabric layer cake. And this is one of the blocks that I completed. They make 30 of these blocks, and you just use your layer cake, and then you get some yardage for your sashing in between. And this one will come out 66 by 78, so it's good size. Good size quilt. So if you wonder what you do with your layer cakes, definitely look into getting the Perfect 10 book or the Perfect 5 book for your charm packs. They make some really super cute quilts. Next, we're going on to our cross stitch section. This one I'm doing, this is a month by month by It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop, and it's the, what do you call it, Shelf Life. This is the picture in the front, so this is February's. So I got this probably about 2 weeks ago in the mail, and this is what I have done so far. So I've got that one completed. So what I like to do with this is all the jars are the same. So you can outline the jar, put the lid on, and you can make the shelf. So that you can get all done ahead of time. So the only thing that changes is the middle section itself. So I'm going to go 4 across with 3 rows when I'm done. So by the end of the year, I have a really, really cute cross stitch that I can fully finish into, I'm not so sure what at the moment, but it'll hit me later. It's fun to do. Something to look forward to every month. This one is an Easter theme one, with Easter coming up in another month. And this pattern I got is from the Prairie Schooler, and it's called April. And it's really cute. It's just got like an old-fashioned, I think they call these salt box houses, and below you've got some ducks, some bunnies, little lamb, and a little rabbit up in the corner here with a little, it says, April brings the primrose sweet, scattered daisies at our feet. So this one I have a good section of it done, and I think this is 32 count if I'm not mistaken, but it's a linen type, and I'm just using the called for colors in there. And this one I have a really great finish for. So hopefully by the next video I'm going to have it done and I'll show you the finish, and it's just, I'm really excited, but I don't want to give it away. So we're having a little promotion here at the Drunkard's Path, and we decided with every order for the month of March, starting March the 1st, which by the time this video comes out will probably be already there, but anybody that makes an order from March 1st to March 31st will get a free back quarter that will go into your order. So just another way to say thank you. We really appreciate your business and your trust. And also just a little reminder of the giveaway we're having for the first quarter of this year, and it is the garden plots. You get the garden plots quilt. You get the pattern here, the backing, or the backing and the binding. And of course the layer cake that goes with the pattern. So that is, anytime you make an order, your name does go into that draw, which will be done on April the 1st. And now here's our tutorial on starching fabric. To starch or not to starch, that is going to be up to you. But I've had several people approach me and ask me, how do I starch fabric for quilting? So this block here, this fabric has been starched. You can see it's a little more rigid, and I find that once I starch fabric, it's easier for me even to cut and to line things up. You don't get the fraying that you normally would with if you don't starch, and things lay very, very flat. And it is actually kind of pre-shrunk too, because once you starch your fabric, it will shrink one way but not the other, just a little. So you got to be careful with pre-cuts. I still do it, but I have a method on how I do the pre-cuts. So anyway, this is a starched one. The starches I use for, if I wanted something I don't want too much starch in, I just use the Mary Ellen's Best Press. Now that's something I would probably use for a layer cake or a charm pack, and just lightly spray it, and you don't get too much shrinkage. So you can probably finagle out whatever you're cutting if you needed the whole piece of that pre-cut. This Niagara is a little more of a medium press, so I use that if I want something a little heavier. Or let's say I don't want to wait all night if I use the heavy starch. I would just use that, maybe put my iron over top and dry it a little quicker. But these two are probably, you know, for on the fly. My go-to starch is the Niagara Heavy Finish. What I do is I take the fabric, I starch it really well, and then I hang it to dry overnight. So to start with, I take a pillowcase and I lay it down on my ironing board, because I don't want, of course, a bunch of starch on my ironing board or on my wool mat that's below. So let's start with the fat quarter, and we just kind of lay it out and give it a shake. So what you want to do is you want to cover the whole thing. You can usually see it pretty well. Get it nice and saturated. Okay, gonna shift that up just a bit. And try to do it as evenly as possible so you don't get a whole bunch in one section and hardly anything in another. So as you can see, it's pretty wet. It's not dripping wet, but it's pretty wet. I'm just gonna go through these 4. I mean, the technique is not hard, of course, but I have 4 here, so I might as well do them. So, hold your can about 5-6 inches above, and just go evenly along. Slide up a little, and here we go. And get that other section. Ooh, I like this color. I just got these in for just a small project that I'm going to be doing. And just spray it. Just see as it just gets wet. And what you're going to do is you're going to let that dry overnight. Unless you can hang it up outside in the sun. If it dries within a couple hours, that's fine. But I usually like to plan, and then I'll do it the day before and let it dry. And it will need to be pressed, of course, before you cut into it. It's going to be pretty much pre-shrunk at that point. Use a nice hot iron, and it'll be just nice and crisp when you're ready to make that first cut. And just to show you the difference, okay, we have yardage. Okay, this is just a piece where this is on the fold. So I'm going to go with Mary Ellen's Best Press, but I have it in this nice spray bottle, so it's nice and even. So I just spray like that, so it's light. Then I'm going to flip that over. If you've got a fold, you got to get the other side. So you got to, there. And that's it for that. And you can let it dry, or you can put your iron on there and it will dry it for it. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Just let it dry and iron it out, and you're ready to go on to step 2 of your project. Thank you as always, and keep sewing, keep stitching.